Hello Stampers, welcome to the craft room. Today I'd like to show you how to make this adorable little poodle that I came up with using your Petite Pennant Builder punch. And here he is, so you can see him also in black. We're going to go ahead and make him in gray since I think he'll be a little bit easier for you to see. So let's get started. So you're going to need your Petite Pennant Builder punch, and we're also going to use a piece of basic gray cardstock. And what we're going to do is punch out two of these scalloped triangles from the basic gray cardstock. Oops, there's one. And there's two. And you're also going to need your paper snips for this project. And the first thing we're going to do is take one of these triangles. And what I'd like you to do is count from the top. Here's your first scallop, second scallop, third scallop, and that's the fourth one. And that's where we're going to cut. So again, one crease, two crease, three crease. On the fourth crease, you're going to go ahead and cut straight across. And you want to save this little piece. We're going to use that in a minute. This is going to be the head, so now what you're going to do is just fold down these top scallops. And those are going to be the ears of our poodle. Next we're going to take this little scrap here and we're going to make the tail from this scrap. This bottom part is going to be the pom-pom tail. So you're just going to take your paper snips and cut a little bit of a curve, a little bit of in and then down, because we're trying to make this look like a pom-pom. So again, a little bit in and then down. And that's going to be our pom-pom tail in a little bit. Then we're going to take our second triangle, and if you have it facing this way, what we're going to do is come in on each side to the first crease, and we're going to cut straight up to the 1, 2, third crease. So let me see if I can demonstrate that. So here we are in the first one, and it's almost as if you were cutting straight up to that third crease, just like that. And we're going to go ahead and repeat that on the other side. So again, in the first one, up to that third one. And we're going to save these two little pieces because these are going to be our poodle's front paws. So now if you want to give him a little bit of texture, we're going to take our basic black ink and we're going to take a basic black sponge and we're going to delicately sponge the edges of our pieces. And also when we get to the little tail and the feet, you want to be a little bit careful because they can bend very easily. Okay, so now we're ready to put him together, at least as far as we've gotten him. And to do that, we're going to need some Tombow Mono multi-glue. And the first place we're going to put a little dot of glue is right here at the top of his body. And we're just going to take his head and glue it on. And I like to tilt his head a little bit because I think that looks cute. You can do whatever you'd like. And then we're also going to glue his tail on. So to do this, I'm just going to put a little dab of glue at that end of his tail. And then I'm going to place his body onto the tail, and I kind of like that right there. And the next thing we're going to do is attach his front paws. To do this, we're going to use pieces of dimensionals. I save all the little pieces of my dimensionals and I cut them. For this, you don't want to use your paper snips. You want to use your craft and rubber scissors so you don't make your paper snips all sticky. And we're just going to cut some little pieces of dimensionals and we're going to use those on the back of our paws. So let me turn that over and we're just going to put that little piece right there, and let me turn this one over and we're going to put that little piece right there, and then we're going to remove the backing and we're going to go ahead and adhere his paws down. And you want the straight side to be on the inside of his body, and that paw is going outward. Oops. And there you go. So now we've got his basic outline constructed. Now we've got to work a little bit on his cute little face. And for his face, we're going to use our small heart punch. And again, we're just going to punch that out of the basic gray cardstock. We need one of those. And we're going to come in with our paper snips, and we're just going to cut off the bottom of the heart. So just about that much. And once again, we're going to sponge this piece. And now we need to make the little nose, and I'm going to use this little circle punch to make his nose. And I'm just going to grab a piece of scrap black cardstock and punch out one of those. And to make his nose, I'm going to cut this in half, and then I'm just going to snip off the edges going at an angle. Hopefully you can see this. I know it's really tiny, but hopefully you can see that little piece, and that's going to be his nose. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue on here, and we're going to adhere down his adorable little nose. Again, you can cock it a little sideways if you want. I think that's really cute. And to add a little embellishment to his nose, we're going to use our basic black marker, and we're going to use the fine pointed side, and we're just going to make a few dots here on his cute little nose. There we go. And we're going to pop up his nose on the face using half of a dimensional. So again, cutting those dimensionals in half. And let's do that way. And we're going to put that, and we're just going to put that in the middle of his adorable little face. Oh, he's just so cute. I can't stand it. The next thing we need to do is give him some eyeballs, and to do this I use a very simple office tool, a very basic hole punch. Those two are going to be the whites of his eyes, and then I also happen to have a very tiny office punch, and this one we're going to use for the little blacks of his eyes. If you don't have one of these, you can just use your basic black marker and go ahead and just draw some eyeballs for him. But I'm going to use this. There we go. And we're just going to take a couple dabs of glue somewhere in the eyeball region and just put that down. And then we're going to put his white eyes down, and I like to tuck them underneath the nose just a little bit, and we'll do that on this side too. And this is where he starts to get a little bit of an expression. So now you need to decide where his little blacks of his eyes go, and I'm just going to do a little dab of glue on that part of the eye. And for this part, I actually have a wooden skewer that I had put a little bit of Tombow Mono multi-glue on the end, a very little bit, and it's made this kind of sticky, and that way I can kind of press down and pick up these tiny little pieces and then use my finger to put it down. So just a nifty little trick. Your Tombow Mono multi-glue will stay nice and sticky on the end of your skewer. And now the last thing we need to do is give him his collar, and I'm actually going to use some Aqua Supernova glitter. You can use your chunky glitter. That's what I used here, the silver glass glitter, but you could use whatever glitter you want. And I'm going to use some crystal effects, and I'm just going to basically draw a line with my crystal effects right here where his head meets his body, the place where his collar would otherwise be. Just a little line, and then I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle some Supernova glitter on there, trying not to get it everywhere else, which is a mean feat. Oh, that looks so handsome. Check him out. I actually adhered him to a crumb cake cardstock base, and I stamped the Love You from the Short and Sweet stamp set, and just went ahead and added another little red heart popped up on a dimensional. He is popped up on a dimensional here on this card. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Card Play, and I hope that you make many little poodles and have a lot of success with it. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon here in the craft room.